This is Alexandra from PersEd.
And this is Paul from the Time Repair Corporation.
And we welcome you to our monthly Interchange.
A meeting of the minds, people reaching outside of themselves in an attempt to find a deeper understanding of perspectives.
And it is through those perspectives, through this coming together of the minds, that we wish to design a more comprehensive, more collaborative way of imagining the future and creating it.
We want to achieve that by inviting experts from around the globe and digging into their experiences and unique viewpoints.
Viewpoints which we are bringing forth and supporting with personal, global, and sustainable models. But that is not the end of it. So there is more to it than that.
We want to grow that conversation for more people to be able to weigh in and contribute to the practical creation of tomorrow. Reach out to us and let's make this a borderless interchange.
And today in our episode on hyperlocalism, what the hell does that mean? We're going to see about that. We will be talking about this model that can completely transform the way we look at the world around us, the way we look at our communities, the way we look at our actions and behaviors. And we are going to meet someone with quite an interesting background. So he's an artist, he is an enterprise technologist or architect, he's an educator, he is a music composer, he is a thinker. In a nutshell, we can say that he is a polymath. He is working as a technology transformation specialist, and he has managed all those parallel careers in education on one hand, and enterprise tech on the other hand. All that while making computational and digital fine art. We'll see about that in a minute, perhaps. Not in a minute, but in a few. And he kept writing and producing electronic chamber music. He has been an expert consultant in management in digital architectural, digital transformation. He worked with BBC, with Microsoft Studios, with the Royal Shakespeare Company, and now he's working with the London North Eastern Railway. I think.
London North East Railway. It's one of the oldest railway companies in the UK, and it runs the line up the east coast of the whole island from London to the top of Scotland.
And there you get your clarification. But he's also taking care of his anti-selfies, which is a series of artistic expressions that are in between the self, or the anti-self, and technology. You might wonder, what does all of that have to do with hyperlocalism? We will see about that. But first and foremost, let's have a big, warm welcome to Richard Adams. How are you feeling today, Richard?
I'm feeling fantastic. It's early morning for a weekend for me when we're recording, but that's good. It actually got me out of bed, which is very good. But I feel great. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. I can't wait. We had the chance to have previous discussions. I already know how amazing those discussions can be. So I can't wait to dig deeper into today's topic and everything that sits in the fringes of that topic. So Richard, perhaps we can first start by clarifying and explaining, what does hyperlocalism mean?
Hyperlocalism, I suppose if you use the word localism in English, it just means pertaining to the local area, but the local area in urban areas can be very large. The local area can be a whole town, part of a city, part of a county, whatever. Hyperlocalism is a concept that has been around a while in terms of the internet. Certainly came across it in the 90s first, but it is about drilling right down to the street corner. So I obviously I'm not talking to necessarily people from England here. But in England we used to have, not so much now, I think lockdown's killing it, but we used to have a network of, I think on every street corner we had a pub and a corner shop, a bar and a corner shop. And those places were places that people went not only to buy things, to drink or to buy food, but they actually gossiped. And they would stand in those places and they would talk about, oh, have you heard about this? Have you heard about that? Etc., etc. And those gossip networks kept people informed to a large extent, I think, because you would then go to your local steelworks where you worked, or your local farm where you worked, or factory or place, and everybody in that area would work in probably one or two local factories. And of course, all that's gone now. People are commuting for hours, they're working distance. And also, we don't know our neighbours anywhere near as well. Certainly growing up in a mining community, I was very aware of the people in the immediate houses immediately next to me. And I knew all of them, and I knew who they were. And that sense of community in some countries and some places is going. And I think it's part of sort of modernization. But at the same time, I think people are realizing they're losing that local information. And so what we're seeing in a very simple way, I think 25 years ago in the 90s, when I first came across hyperlocalism as a concept, there was talk about the internet and how it could bring people together and reunite people who'd been pulled apart from each other and all of that sort of stuff. But now we're seeing the real tools, because things like Facebook, tools that can really do it, because I think people, platforms like Facebook now are so systemically embedded in people's lives that they don't even think about using technology now, whereas even just 10 years ago people were worried by the technology barrier. But now virtually anyone can, with the hardware, can access Facebook and operate it. And what I'm seeing in on things like Facebook is the apparent rise of lots of very small corner shop pub communities again, where people are getting together. There are obviously the political groupings where people join political groups and they are spread all over. But I'm seeing very useful local networks emerging. I'm a member of 3 or 4 local networks, for example, and out of those local networks have sprung an action plan for the town centre. And I'm seeing, I read recently, an article on Medium, which I came across, which was, about local food producers in India and how they were starting to sort of congregate and get together, and how they were trying to sort of display their authentic identity in order to bring people to those restaurants and things. And to me, it's kind of replacing what we lost when we lost the old industrial model of society, where you worked at the local big factory. You went home, you went to the local bar on a Saturday night, you went to the local corner shop. All of that disappeared. We have massive supermarkets the size of football fields. And that sense of community went, I think, fragmented very horribly through the 80s and 90s. And I think the potential here is for this hyper-localized network, something that's focused right on somebody's street corner, to actually grow and produce pressure upwards.